Hi guys, I know I've been talking about this for a while and I finally started it. Now that I've finished my cruise album, I wanted to do a mini album because I haven't done one for so long and I'm just so excited to do one again. It's been quite a while. I want to say it's been at least a year since I've done one, maybe longer. What I've done is this is not going to be like a tutorial video on how to make a mini album because there's so many tutorials out there. I don't even know. This is a paper bag album. I've already constructed the inside of it and I've covered it with the paper that I'm going to be using, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I just wanted to go through real quick what I've already done. And this is just a standard paper bag album. I made the binding with gutters, I guess that's what you call them, in between here at 1/2 inch because I want to make sure I have a lot of room for embellishments because I've only got 4 pages in this album, and I want to be able to have some dimension in it because I like putting dimension in my albums. So I made my gutters 1/2 inch. These are just white paper bags. Let me grab them and I'll show you what they look like. I got these a long time ago. I've had them around. I have like a big box or basket, if you will, of things that I use to make mini albums that I just collect as I see it. Oh, that'll be interesting for a mini album. Oh, I could use that as a cover or whatever, and I just stuff it all in this box. So I have these bags in there. I think I got these bags at Target in their dollar section, but it was years ago and I really can't remember. They're lunch bags. They have the Cars movie characters on it. But I wasn't really worried about this. The only problem that I did find with this is that if you do the style of the album that I did, where you actually fold this over to create a pocket, as you can see I did here, you're going to have to cover the pocket all the way to the bottom here with some kind of paper, otherwise this brown is going to show, and that was one of the reasons why my paper goes all the way to the edge of the bag instead of leaving a border, which I would have preferred to do. I could have probably, if I would have thought about it, done the pockets this way and just tucked this down, which would have been a lot better, and then I could have had that white border around my paper like I originally wanted to, but didn't do it that way, so that is an option. But the paper bag is very thin, but it's very smooth and it has a nice feel to it. It doesn't really matter for this particular album because of the way I put the paper. The bag doesn't really show. You can see inside the pocket there that it does. You can see it, when you open up the pocket, but other than that, you really don't even know that those are white bags under there. So either way, the logo is not going to matter because it will be covered up. So I wasn't too concerned about that. For a pack of these for $1, there's 20 bags in here. So that's not bad, and it's not bad quality either. So anyways, that's what I made the bag out of, or the album out of. And I did, just with the pocket here, I only wanted one pocket because I'm only putting one tag in here, so I glued the gussets together on either side. And I was just thinking earlier, I may go back later and put some trim along here, only because of the style. I've decided that this album, since it's going to be an album about a hike that my husband and I took in St. Martin, I had tons and tons of photos just from this hike, and I wanted to just do a mini album instead of doing like a whole, trying to scrapbook all these photos. I figured it would be easier, and I still didn't even use all the photos. I picked out the ones that I felt represented the trip, and those are the ones that I used. So I don't have, I've got, I think, 20 20 or 21 photos total. So you will actually see me using the photos. I know that's one of the things out there that I've noticed, that a lot of people out there make the mini albums, but they don't ever put photos in it. And I always like to see, you know, even if they don't do it while they're making it, if they come back later maybe and do, you know, put the photos in, I always like to see what it looks like once you put the photos in. You know, because sometimes I notice, as I watch people make mini albums, I'm not criticizing anybody by any means, please don't think that. It's just something that goes through my mind when I'm sitting there, because I actually do like to use my mini albums for photos. And I think while I'm watching them design the album, you know, what kind of photo would I use there? How would I put the photo there? Because to me, that's the whole purpose of making it. So I thought maybe, you know, it might be a good thing to, you know, actually see an album being made and have the photos actually be in the album as it's being made. And I like to do that with my mini albums because I like to treat each page of my mini album as if it's a separate scrapbook page. Just like I would do my regular 12 by 12 scrapbook albums. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. And like I said, I'm not going to, you know, I've already covered this. So basically all you're going to see in my video series on this is me decorating the album and doing the cover. And so let me show you the paper that I'm going to be using, or that I've already started using. It's Basic Gray's Green at Heart. And just so you know the dimensions of this album, the cover is 6 3/4 by 5 1/4 inch. That is the album cover. My bag, my pages are a little bit smaller at 6 1/4 by 5. So let me just grab this paper and I'll show you. Some of it I've already cut up because because I already covered my pages, and I love the colors in this album. And after spending months on that cruise album, you know, I love neutrals. They're like my favorite, but I'm just craving some color right now. So this was like the perfect. And this paper is so old. I've had this paper. I'm a hoarder, and I admit it. I hoard my paper, but I thought it was probably time for me to pull this out and use it, and I thought this would be the perfect album for it. So, but these are, you know, these are scraps, and I've used some black cardstock. I also chose some cardstock from the stack that I have, DCWV's Bright Metallics, and this came out, I'm looking for a year here. I don't see a year on here. I purchased this recently. I don't know how recent the stack is. I purchased this recently, but I don't know, you know, how old the actual stack is or how long they've been printing it. But these colors worked perfectly with this. Maybe not so much the blues, but the greens and the orange and the purple all went really well with this, the color of this paper line. So, and this particular pack that I bought, it came in a kit. It's Basic Gray. It was only one-sided, but that's okay because it works out all right. But these are all the scraps that I have from covering my pages. I chose the ones that I liked, and the ones that I thought, you know, would look really nice with the photos that I had. I mean, really, the photos go with all of them. These are scraps that I have left in case I need, you know, to make any more tags or anything. I still do need to make some tags. I've made all the tags that go inside the bag. And of course I'm going to be decorating those with flat embellishments. But these pockets here, I do plan on making some tags, and I have some ideas that I may do something with some transparency. which I think is really cool, and I've been wanting to work with transparencies for a while now. I think this will be a good album to do that with. So I do need to still create those tags, so you'll get to see me do that, and whatever it is I come up with for that. So here's, this is just leftover stuff. The colors are so bright. I love the greens and I love the oranges in this paper. This page, you know, it's got some stickers, some border stickers. I'm going to be using a lot of this stuff probably on the tags that go inside the bags, because it's flat embellishments and that's what I'm going to be looking for. I may do some mixed media on the tags that go in the bags. I'm not sure yet. It's hard for me not to do mixed media, so we'll see how that works out. Then of course, you know, with basic gray you always get the sticker alphabet, which is going to be nice. I may incorporate this in there somehow, I don't know. We'll see. These are the papers that are left that I haven't used. I wasn't really into the bright pink for this, so I will probably, you know, use this for some other project, but it is very pretty. But it just didn't go, and as you can see, it's mostly the pink that I did not use for this project, but it's not to say that I don't like it. I think it's very pretty. I just didn't like it for this project. And I do like these. I love these orange flowers. It goes very well with the orange that's in here, but I liked other papers better, so this one just kind of didn't get used. That's okay, because I can definitely find a use for it. And then of course I still have a piece of cardstock, the purple cardstock left that I haven't used. But that's the paper line. And I will be using, you know, these embellishments, like I said, hopefully in creative ways. Let me show you some of the things that I've already picked out to use for these pages. I've already gone through my stash, and I've chosen some things. I've picked some ribbon here that I thought matched really nicely with the paper line. So I may incorporate some of this somehow. I don't usually use a lot of ribbon, but on my scrapbook pages, but I tend to try to use it more in my albums. So we'll see what happens. I have some trim here that you know, is hiking themed. This one says Journey, Travel, Adventure on it, and then this one has boot prints, hiking boot prints. So I'll find some use for that, and this is a little piece of green ribbon that I liked. I think you guys have seen this before. I've used these. I've used some of these, a couple of these in my cruise album, and I have some left. So these are like the perfect words for hiking, and mostly the green, maybe not so much the blue, but I could always recolor those, so who knows. Little piece of ribbon, I don't know what you would call this. And then I went ahead and went on my Cricut, and I looked up through the cartridges, some hiking cartridges. On the Explorer, I have a subscription, so I have access to tons and tons and tons of Cricut cartridges on the internet that I can use with my Explorer. And so I made some tags out of the scrap paper that I have. I will be using these. I don't know if I'll be creating designated pockets, little pockets for these, or if I'll just be stuffing them in. I'm probably going to do quite a few tags for my pockets. There may be several, more than one tag sticking out of my front pocket. This pocket right here. So as well as the transparency tags, I may have, you know, little things like this sticking in for journaling. So I thought these were really cute, and I used the colors of the paper and the cardstock that I chose so that it would match with the paper line. So, and I may make more of these. We'll see. I also chose some animals that I thought would go well with the area that we were in. It's kind of tropical. I do have plans to do some more. I want to do cut out some dragonflies because I love dragonflies, and also I think it would go very well with this theme. Some of the paper has butterflies on it, but I'm going to kind of stay away from the butterflies because it's not, to me, it doesn't really match. So I paper pieced these. I cut them out of my Cricut with paper from the line, and then I covered them with some gloss gel so that they would be more sturdy. And then I also cut out some hiking boots and cut them also with the paper and covered them with gloss gel. A couple parrots. There you go, you can see the shine there from the gel. And then I did a couple turtles, and I covered the turtle shells with some glossy accents. And then the rest of the turtle, I just left plain. I didn't cover it with anything. So I thought they were really cute, and since I used the paper from the paper line, they're going to match perfectly. And then when I was cutting out my little books, I had these words that were left over, so I thought, oh well, I'll just keep them because I can use them anywhere in the album as an embellishment. So instead of throwing them away, so that's some of the embellishments that I've picked out so far or made. I've picked some ink, so I'm going to probably use some white ink. I'm not real sure which one of these is going to work for me because I plan on doing some stamping if I do the transparencies tags, as I mentioned. So I got out all my white inks to see which ones work the best. I chose some peeled paint distress ink I've already edged actually all of my papers in that. I may pull out more colors depending on what I do as I move along through the album. I also have a little basket here with some goodies in it that I thought would look cute. I got some of my wood embellishments out. I thought the arrows would be cute, you know, as pointers for trailheads and stuff like that. I might do something with some of these little wooden clothespins. And then of course I got these little tiny popsicle sticks that are great for stamping on little phrases and stuff. I got some jute twine in green and light natural color. And raffia, some natural colored raffia that I'm going to use in there somewhere. I picked out some bird feathers, just a few. I may stick them here and there. I might have to spray them or something. I don't know. I don't know if that would work on feathers or not. Maybe it's an experiment I might have to do just to see. Maybe I could just use some Pearl X powder on them. The reason being is that I would prefer to give them a greenish tint or bluish tint, something like that, to resemble feathers that maybe came from a parrot. More of a tropical bird, but we'll see. I chose some little flowers. These are silk flowers that I have that are in my stash that I got from a silk flower shop. Some of them I got from the floral section of various craft stores, and I've already pulled them off of the stems that they were on, the plastic stems. I will probably take them apart further once I get ready to use them. but I picked out colors that look really, really, really awesome with the color line. I didn't want to go too huge with the flowers because the pages are really small and there will not be enough room to put very large flowers on there. Plus I have some leaves here too, some silk leaves. So I do want to add some foliage to my book, especially since it's a hiking themed book. Okay, and I've picked out some stamps. These are some new stamps that I just got. They're new to me. I'm sure they've been out for a while. They're by Bo Bunny, and I love the stitches. Because I plan on doing a backpack album, I thought the stitches would work very nicely. Plus I could also stamp and cut these out, these flowers, and use them for embellishments if I want to. So I thought these would work really nice. And the other thing that I want to use in this album is rub-ons. So I went through my rub-on stash. And I pulled out, these are white, actually white rub-ons. They have bling on them, which I probably would not use the bling, not for this album. But I do like the white rub-on. They would work excellent on the transparencies that I plan on making, as well as just on the paper. So same here. These are some more rub-ons. These are by Basic Gray, the ones I just showed you, the bling-it-ons. These are made by American Crafts, mini marks. Get some white borders. This is what you get in this pack. Those are some pretty interesting. I'm mostly interested in the border. And then I got some inspirational, these are rub-on sentiments by, actually they're called Motivation Sentiments, and they're made by Royal and Langnickel. I don't even remember where I got these, probably at one of my local craft stores, probably on sale, knowing me. But I like all the words, so I'm going to pick out some things that might, work. Here I have some Studio 112 rub-ons that are stitches, and they're in colors that I think would go really nicely with this album, so maybe use. I liked the colors of these rub-ons that I had. This I think is probably a Target dollar section rub-on that I've been hoarding in my stash, but I like the little critters. The owl is really cute. The flowers are cute. I think they would look nice. And also the little letters. The color, the orange and the pink, I think would go really nicely with this album. So maybe, that's a maybe. And then I just have these, sorry about that, my camera stopped recording for some reason. I got these from Oriental Trading a while back. And I'm interested in these because of the flourishes, and everything that's in the black, they also have it. It's also in the white as well. So, but I like the flourishes, and I think that rub-ons are a really easy way to add interest to your page really quickly with no mess. That's the best. That's the thing that I love the best about rub-ons, because there's no cleanup. Even with stamps, you have some kind of cleanup. So, and that so far is what I have for this album. There may be a point where I may pull out some other things from my stash as I go along. We'll see how that goes. As you move along with a project, your ideas change, and you just have to go with the flow. So the cover, I have already, like I said, I didn't at first. I did not plan to do a backpack themed album, But the more I got to thinking about it, I thought it would be really cute, and I actually started getting an idea of a design in my head of what might work. But I don't have a complete design yet. So, but you'll get to see what I come up with once I do the video portion of decorating the outside of the cover. I went ahead and I picked out paper out of the paper line, and I actually cut chipboard covers for my album. And I used the Tim Holtz on the edge die postage stamp, just like I did for the tags inside of the album. But I may end up having to redo the covers, only because I may need the cover to be a little bit bigger. Haven't decided yet. I did cut this a little bit larger than my album, so it may still work. I don't know yet. I've got an idea in my head, and I just have to play around with it to see how I'm going to get it to work. But these were the papers that I chose. This is probably going to end up, this green is going to end up being the color on the outside of the album. I love this green, and I love how this paper is distressed. And I think that would be really pretty. I'll probably end up using this polka dot. Love this paper. I just love the colors. But it's probably going to end up being on the inside of the cover. I don't know yet. I haven't worked that out. But what I did was I had an old backpack, and I just cut off some of the items, I don't even know what you want to call accessories, that were on the outside of the album, so that I could use this stuff if I found a way to use it on the outside of the album. So I got a little hook here that I'm probably going to use this for the closure on the flap that goes over the front of the album. That's kind of part of the idea that I have. A lot of backpacks, you see this crisscrossing string like this that goes down the front of the backpack, and then you can put things in it and tighten it up with this thing here. I may try to use this. These are the little hooks that are on the side that you thread it through. So I cut those off, and even if I don't use them in that manner, I might use them just for embellishments, just for looks. The same with these two little things that I cut off the backpack as well. I probably will not use black. I will probably gesso these if I can get it to get a good coverage. That's the plan. So hopefully that'll work. I may have to sacrifice one of these just so I can test that out. Or I might go back to the backpack and cut off a piece of something on that and use that just to see, because I prefer not to use the black. But if it comes down to it, I took all of the zipper pieces off. And even, I love these little things here because I think these will look really cute on the sides, or as dangles or whatever, just, as an embellishment, not necessarily anything that's even functional on the outside of the album. But even if I don't use any of this stuff on the album, I think that I will definitely find use for these on other projects, and they're pretty nice, pretty heavy. So mixed media, canvases, whatever. So that's what I've done. I think this may end up being too big for the album. We'll see. You never know. I might come up with something creative. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the plan. I'm also contemplating using this canvas on the outside of the album along with the paper. Maybe creating some pockets. If I do anything of that nature, I also have this burlap here as well, some brown that I thought would look really nice with the cream. The brown and the green would make a really nice looking backpack. If I do anything like that, it's going to be a no-sew because I have a sewing machine. I've used it in my scrapbooking before, but I'm not really that great of a sewer because it's not what I do. So I definitely would, try to make this a no-sew project. So if anybody out there who can't sew, you would be able to do this project as well, so you wouldn't have to worry about having a sewing machine. So that's it so far. So most of my videos that I'm going to do for this album will be, speed videos. I will speed them up, and my typical video with narration across the screen as I feel it needs it. But if you ever have any questions about anything that I'm doing, please feel free to post on my page, and I will definitely respond to you. I try to get back as quickly as I can. I'm not on my page every day. If you're a Google +1 member, I will get a notification immediately. And I usually do get some kind of a notification, but I don't always get it, maybe a day or so later before I get it. But I will definitely try to get back as soon as I can. I hope you enjoy it. I will probably, by the time you hear this video, I will have completed the album, because I'm not going to post this piecemeal. I am going to do the complete album, and then I will post all of the videos, whether I'm probably going to break it up some. I don't want to have one big long video of me doing this album, because that tends to get boring for people. So I will break it up to a certain extent, but I hope not to have too many, maybe 4 videos, 5 at the most, one for each page, and maybe the cover album, or maybe 3, one video for 2 pages, and then another video for the last 2 pages, and then another video for the cover. We'll see. It just depends on how long it takes and how long I can, how quickly I can speed it up. So, okay, well, I hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks for watching.